All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 63 of the VF Cast. I am VF Baller over here. I talk about gaming and pretty much everything under that umbrella. I want to thank you guys for watching the latest videos that I've been putting out. I've been trying my best to put more content out over here. I put the GameCube HDMI comparison video out. Hopefully you guys will check that out. I have more stuff like that coming up on the way. More gaming related, obviously gaming related stuff and all the other things that come with that. I have something really special for you guys coming up very, very soon. Hopefully you guys will be able to stick around and check that out. I definitely would just appreciate it if you want to hit that like button, help this channel grow. I know a few subscribers decided to, subscribe to the channel recently. I really appreciate that. I mean, you guys are awesome. So this is my secondary channel. I'm trying my best to make it happen with this gaming stuff, because on the other channel I talk about sports. So hopefully it'll all work out. So VFcast episode 63, we're going to talk today about this Rondo of Blood PC Engine reproduction that was actually graded by Wata Games. Now, I did a video about this a while back where they were talking about bootlegs and repros and hacked games being graded. And it doesn't really make sense to me. Why is this happening? Why Wata is, why do they do this? Because these are not official games. I mean, these are games that are like ROM hacks and, reproductions that don't really carry the same value as the authentic, copies of games. Like they were doing Pokemon and other things. We'll talk about that later on in the show. But this one right here caught a lot of people's eye. And I waited a little bit to talk about this because I didn't want to do this on an actual, video. I want to really do an episode about this because this is a bigger problem that needs to be addressed, if not already. It's really it's terrible when it comes to collecting and actually trying to put value on certain items. Now, I'm not big on the sealed and graded game scene. If anything, I may want to have like one or two games sealed and graded. And I know that's going to sound crazy, but the two games I would want a sealed copy of and graded, they're two games, believe it or not. And I know this may not even have any value to them down the road, and I'm just going to talk about it really quick. Uncharted 2, the PS3 version, and Resident Evil 5, the PS3 version. I don't know why. I just want those two games graded and just to have them. I mean, I don't see that there's going to be any value to them, or I'm going to be trying to flip them sometime down the road. Those two games really, they hold some sentimental value to me. So I would just grade them, just have them sitting in a case like you see on the screen. But I don't expect to, flip them or anything. Those games probably won't even be worth the money I spend to get them graded and put in one of these cases. But nevertheless, people are going out there to seal these games and hopefully to make a profit down the road. Some people, this is a big business to some people. This is a big investment plan to some people. And to see stuff like this happen with this Rondo of Blood, where, I mean, quite frankly, this, I'm not going to say is worth nothing, but it's nowhere near worth what it's for. A sealed copy of this particular game, which is arguably, probably in some people's eyes, the best Castlevania ever created, this game probably will go for way more than the asking price that is here with $3,989. I mean, this is not even worth that for the repo, but the actual copy, if you find one sealed, the game came out almost, 20, 30 years ago. And I said 30 years ago it came out. This game would probably be worth, a good, in my opinion, and I'm not good with this stuff, probably a good, 50, maybe $30,000. And I mean, that's pushing it, that's just pushing it. But this is a very rare game, and a lot of people look at this game as in high regard. I recently purchased the game digitally on the Wii U. Not on the Wii U, but on the Wii eShop when the Wii eShop was open, and you can buy it now on PS4, PS5 with the Castlevania. I think it's the Symphony of the Night and Rondo Blood collection. But this is a phenomenal game. It really is. But this is what I don't understand. Like, my problem is with Wata. It's not the person who's going to send it to get it graded. It's with Wata, because Wata's been doing this for a while now, and it's really a problem for Wata to sit here and grade this type of stuff. I mean, I know it just goes to show you all they're in it for is the money. If you're going to send money in for me to grade this, all right, cool. I'm going to grade it. And in that sense, I don't blame them. But to me, I think it's ethically wrong to be grading games at a certain, standard as if you would do the other games. If anything, this should on the seal, I mean, not on the seal, but on the case, it should have a big red or orange or whatever letters saying repo. It's a reproduction. Just like the PC Engine or the PC Works company who made this reproduction pretty much let it be known. Now, the only thing I don't like about the PCE Works, what they did is put the Konami tag on it, because now it makes it seem like it's official where it's really not. And but this is what you're dealing with now. Now, how do I really feel about reproductions? Honestly, I don't have a really big deal with them if they're done correctly. Like, in my opinion, some reproductions are based on, the way they look. Some of them have different colors or whatever the case may be. Some of them just look different. Like, I have 2 reproduction games, Turtles in Time for the Super Nintendo, and I have, believe it or not, I have Super Castlevania 4 on the Super Nintendo. But my Super Castlevania 4 is in blood red. It looks awesome. So that's the only reason why I got that. And Turtles in Time, it's in a turtle green. And it looks really cool. So, I mean, I'm not against it to the point where like, oh, no, buy them. But if somebody, put one together and it looks pretty neat, I don't mind buying it. But at the same time, some people may look at it differently. Some people look like a reproduction, no different than a bootleg. You need to get the real copies. You're taking from the developer, this, that, and the third. I mean, look, I bought the Castlevania collection plenty of times for my PS4 and for Steam. So that's twice I played. Same thing with the Turtles collection, the Cowabunga collection that has Turtles in Times on it. I bought that, plus I bought it when it was on the I think it was on the, was it on the Wii Shop? I can't remember. I know I bought it more than once. So therefore, it's like I'm giving the developers money in some form or fashion. So it's not the end of the world, because I know how some people are about that type of stuff. Nevertheless, I've said too much about my end, but about how I feel about this stuff. Let's talk about what Wata and them has done as far as this whole situation. You see right here, the Rondo of Blood was on eBay. It's been since taken down. It's not up anymore. These guys, whoever decided to try to sell this, pretty much knew this was a big deal because a lot of people started talking about it. A lot of the YouTubers started talking about it. This particular person who had it up on eBay actually tried to sue a YouTuber about it. And I thought it was like really crazy. Like, what are we doing here? You're trying to sue somebody for spitting like straight up facts. It didn't say anything defamatory or say anything wrong. This is a reproduction card, and it's really bad. And it's gotten to the point where Wata had to put out a statement. And here's the statement right here. A note from Wata. We're going to go through this really quick, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions about it. In June of 2021, Wata mistakenly authenticated a PCE Works Castlevania Rondo of Blood reproduction. This is the same thing as this. Is this right here? This is the one that they did. We learned about PCE Works reproduction shortly after grading and have taken the steps to ensure that we'll be able to identify these types of reproductions from that point forward. Why this hasn't been an issue beforehand? Why you haven't done this before? You know what I mean? It's like, why are you not checking about this before? Because it was about money. You getting paid to grade this stuff, so they don't care whatever they're doing, they're going to do it. So it's crazy. The Wata team is also attempting to retrieve the game to ensure that it's removed from our holder and the certification is voided. Okay, that's fine. Unfortunately, although rare, mistakes do happen. This is not a mistake. I do not believe this is a mistake. If Wata Games is if they're in the business of grading games, this is the first thing they should know, that we're not going to be sitting here grading unofficial, unlicensed released games. That's one of the first things you would know when you pick the game up to inspect it, right? But in some cases, they're just inspecting the seal. They don't care if they're not worried about all that. But isolated authentication mistakes certainly aren't a representative of our services as a whole or the values that we stand for. All right, but you did Game Boy Advance games as well. At Wata, we take pride in spearheading new authentication methods. You don't need new authentication methods. All you have to do is look at it and tell. This is not. This shouldn't be new. So they're now telling me your old methods is like you don't give a damn. So which allow us to stay ahead of the community, stay ahead of continually advances counterfeiting methods while providing a world-class certification service to our collectors. On the rare occasions we make mistakes such as this. This is not a mistake. I don't care what anybody says. This is not a mistake. Wata knew exactly what they were doing. We strive to learn from our mistakes and we ensure we do not make them twice. Well, you made it more than once already, but that's another story for another day. We take a proactive stance where possible to attempt to work with submitters and sellers alike to appropriate remove items like this from the marketplace. You shouldn't even never make it to the marketplace. They can go to VGA and get their stuff graded. They can go to other places that grade stuff, but Wata, that's beyond their control. So they can make it to the marketplace and other places like that. But even with them, you should know if you're in the market of grading games, you should know what's real and what's not. This is just like if you're going in any other collector's item, comic books, graded coins, Pokemon. And I sound like reserved investments right now. Shout out to reserved investments. Any of those guys that that grade those type of items, they wouldn't know if their reproductions are just fake off the rip. They wouldn't be going through this and putting it in a case. Whatever. When new learnings and discoveries impact already graded, whatever. Similarly, I think I said that right. When issues like this are brought to our attention, we do the best to work with owners to address any mistakes and related issues so we're able to stand by the integrity of our progress and service. It shouldn't even get that far. Stance on homebrew and ROM hacks. I just did a video on this. A couple months ago. So all the reproductions were never allowed. See, now they're telling on themselves. So this is awesome. Although reproduction games were never allowed, just never allowed, some homebrew and ROM hack submissions have been historically been allowed on one-off basis under the former Wata policy. So this was policy. This is what I don't understand. How is this policy when you're making this type of you're creating this type of service? How could it be policy that you're going to just start grading homebrews, ROM hacks, bootlegs? Like, trust me, I know some people because I go to these retro gaming stores all the time. I know some guys. I don't know if they do it, but I know they sell them. They do a phenomenal job doing like homebrews and ROM hacks of certain games. Like, look, I got one up here for my Super Nintendo, the Brutal Mario World. That ROM hack is like phenomenal, but the way it was set up, it looks just like a Super Nintendo game. It looks like a game that could have been released in 1992. It looks very well. So it's like, I get it where some of these look really, really good and you might want to like grade it, but when you look at the copy of the game, you're not going to grade a Brutal Mario World to be submitted and put in a case for for investment. It just makes no sense. Because a lot of these people, don't get me wrong, they put in a lot of work to make these ROM hacks, make these homebrews, or just bootlegs. Believe it or not, some people put a lot of time in it. But Wata has no business doing this, and it was a policy. Under former Wata policies such as Pokemon Liquid Crystal version, I did a video about that. Typically, these infrequent requests resulted in one graded example of a title before it would later be permanently removed. This is what I'm saying. Why was it graded to begin with? In 2021, based on the risk implicated of grading these types of game poses, we decided to deny future requests and outline clearer guidelines around what games Wata will and will not accept for submission going forward. I know I sound like a broken record, but this should never been an issue. This should have never been an issue. The only reason why they wanted to get paid for doing it. They got paid for doing it, and when the community called it out on it, then that's when they stopped doing it. That's my belief. For instance, the criteria for forbidden items would prohibit any games that contain unauthorized assets / IP, such as Pokemon Liquid Crystal version, while homebrews containing original asset code or ROM hacks that have received license and approval for said assets will still be allowed to, and that makes sense. If, let's say for instance, if you got the license to reproduce, like I think it was like that Street Fighter that came out with the light blue cartridge or whatever, I can see that. If you have like other types of, games that's going to be re-released and it got licensed through, that company that says it's okay to send it out and we're going to make a profit off of it. I have no problem with that. But Pokemon Crystal Liquid and stuff like this, I'll get back to that in a second. Stuff like this makes no sense. I don't get it. For further information, the question is, Wata. I don't like this company. I just don't. I think, with all the stuff that's been going on, shout out to Carl Jobs, he put out that video a year ago about the deceptive practices of what they've been doing. And to me, I find this ridiculous that people are using this company to actually seal for their sealed and their graded games. Cause I just don't believe them. They got a lot to do to fix what they're doing, because there's been too many speculation and allegations of them manipulating the market. It's been really ridiculous. Now, before I get out of here, I'm gonna ask you I'm gonna tell you who is PCE Works and what they do. I think I have no problem with companies actually putting things together to do reproductions, because some of the stuff is not in print anymore. Some of the stuff that's in print, not in print, but that's out there, extremely expensive, and I get it. And they're doing a lot of stuff for TurboGrafx. They're doing stuff for PC engines, super graphics. They do a pretty good job at a lot of this stuff, and I'm not against it. I won't buy the stuff. Some of the stuff I may not really buy, but what's this? PC Engine CD-ROM play. Whoa! So this thing can play. Let's see, PC Engine games like Keo Flying Squadron for the Mega CD, and this is a storage box. Is this a player? Does it play games? Interesting. I'm looking at that, because I wouldn't mind getting a standalone Sega CD and PC Engine CD. I've been wanting to get a PC Engine for a while, but nevertheless. What I'm saying is like PC Engine and PCE Works and other companies do stuff like this to make repos. I have no problem with them, because they do provide some sort of a service. My main thing is if they are doing this, they should have like authorization to put out certain products. That's all. Just don't make repo, because you can find all that stuff like on Etsy and even on eBay and something, where some people are just reproducing games on their own. And, some people really look into it and they say it's cool to do. And they say it's cool to buy, and they buy it, they have fun, whatever the case may be. I'm not that big on that type of stuff. I don't do it. But nevertheless, I want to know what you guys think about this whole situation. I know I've been a little bit long-winded, but usually my VF casts go around 20 to 25 minutes. Try to keep it around there if possible. And I really feel like this is ridiculous. I don't understand how Wata not know about this type of stuff. And I don't say they not know. I don't understand why they're doing what they're doing outside of like, we trying to make money. Because my main thing is, this stuff, all you're doing is cheating the people that are getting the stuff graded out of their money. Because when people realize, you got a reproduction game in a case, I'm not paying that. Look, listen. Nobody's buying this for this price. Not a reproduction. And they didn't even try to tell you it was a reproduction. I don't think it did. This has been taken down off of eBay, so I don't know what it all said. But I don't think they tried to pass this off as a real copy of the game. I'll be extremely surprised if they did that. That'd be horrible. But nevertheless, I'm sitting there looking at this like, Wata, what are you doing? Because all you're doing, you're swindling people out of money doing this. I'm glad that they stopped. But, why was this a thing in the first place? Why would you sit here and do the Pokemon ones before? To me, I just think it's really, 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 really dumb. But I'm going to get out of here, man. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, share this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm going to get out of here. I might have to put some work in for my other channel. And just let me know what you guys think about this. This is wild. This is crazy. This is nuts. But that's Wata for you. And Wata has been shady from day one. And I wouldn't be surprised if anything else come out after that. I still stand by. I do want those 2 games graded that I wanted. I still want those graded. I may go to VGA or something. I don't know. But we'll see. All right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. Y'all take it easy. And y'all be blessed. Peace.